Thank you guys for joining. My name is Mark Anstead. I'm one of the co-founders of Numio, and here to talk to you about how we are giving you back control over your identity and your money. So a little bit about us. We are building out the application layer on top of blockchain, initially Ethereum. And we are building these solutions to help service this awesome, incredible growing world known as DeFi, otherwise known as decentralized finance. And these products that we are developing not only work hand in hand with different types of open source protocols, but also some awesome IP that we have developed. And these products that we are building out are focused on three main things: payments, asset management, and digital identity management. And for those of you who aren't really familiar, this is a little bit of an educational period. Decentralized finance, or DeFi, is essentially the goal of creating a financial ecosystem that minimizes the amount of centralized parties that need to, the amount of trust that you need to rely on centralized parties. Sorry, jumping around with my words there. And there are a few things that we're actually doing to help strengthen or even bolster this growing economy. And those are around scalability, onboarding, volatility, security, and education. When it comes to scalability, we've been working with the OMG network team, enabling for about 3,000 transactions per second. When it comes to onboarding, we enable for users to be onboarded behind the scenes and have their own unique digital identity. When it comes to volatility, our focus isn't necessarily on Bitcoin or Ethereum, but more so how you can utilize different types of stable coins for payments and interacting with different types of protocols. And when it comes to security, we've built some awesome IP around our Numio cloud, which allows you to not only protect, but even recover different types of accounts and data. And I'll be talking a little bit more about that later. And when it comes to education, I mean, we're building out products that are focused on simplicity and usability, and without having to give up any type of security. Because we know that most people, frankly, they don't really care to really understand or figure out how blockchain actually works. And now for the fun stuff, the products. This is a product that we first released last year as a beta, and it is called Numio Pay. And believe it or not, this was the first product operating on Ethereum, enabling for gasless transactions between identities. And what that means is a gasless transaction allows you to interact with the Ethereum network in a non-custodial manner, so you don't actually have to hold Ether in your wallet, which is awesome. So you can think of this product as a peer-to-peer and point-of-sale transaction solution. It also enables for instant transactions as a part of our implementation with the OMG network, as well as different types of remittances between different types of corridors. And as I mentioned, every single user that is onboarded is able to receive their own unique digital identity, or their DeFi ID. And as a part of that comes identity management. And this is where our Numio cloud comes into place. So our Numio cloud enables you to take any type of file, data, or information.
Unmute.
Oops, sorry, I got muted there. And this allows you to take any type of information effectively and store it into a zero-knowledge proof. So this protects you from other users or organizations from accessing your private information. It is all permission-based, so you have full control and custody over that information. So this enables for essentially a universal KYC solution. So you can be onboarded into different types of financial institutions or platforms instantly. Oops. And now moving on to Numio Vault. This is our web-based product that we have been developing, and we are currently in QA on right now. It's actually the first wallet being built out, enabling for blockchain-based 2FA security. We also enable for keyless security. So when you are being onboarded, for those of you who have generated a crypto wallet, you don't actually need to write down your private key or even seed words, because all of those private keys are able to be stored in the Numio cloud, which then allow you to recover that information in a secure manner. We also enable for lending and borrowing, so you can actually gain interest upwards of 5 or even 10% APR, as well as fiat on and off ramps, or even swapping between assets through DEX. We've also built out some awesome security features around our Vault Pro, like multi-sig solutions, dead man switch, rate limiters, whitelisting of addresses. List goes on. This is some of our core team. We have Marco, myself, Jason, and Tim, and the rest of our rockstar team. This is some of the parts of our seed round that we are looking to do right now, and that is...
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, had to stop you there a little after 5 minutes, but great presentation. We'll open it up to the investors for some Q&A now.
Fire away.
Hey, Mark, this is Megan. I will not pretend to be an expert in this space at all, but I know my little brother talks a lot about how cold storage is his preferred way of storing. How do you talk to those people that are diehard Ledger fans?
I will say many maximalists are very weird about having hardware wallets. I don't know why. Many of those are just, I guess, the people who got around into the industry back in 2010, 2011, and that era. But for the most part, many of these individuals that are looking to store a lot of these assets, all they really care about is being able to access your private keys. So for those of you who don't know, a private key is what allows you to gain access to any type of public wallet on any type of blockchain. And obviously, when we are storing these assets, we are encrypting them locally. So users don't actually have to write them down. We are giving them the ability to access them. But one of the big features that we've built in that actually a lot of users that have been using Ledger or even Trezor, which are some very well-known hardware wallets that have faced difficulty with, is actually losing their hardware wallet. Believe it or not, that happens very frequently. And one of the smart contracts that we've developed in-house is called Dead Man Switch. And what that does is for those users who actually lose their wallet, or obviously it's called Dead Man Switch, if you pass away, your funds are not actually lost. So the way the smart contract works is it communicates with the API, and the API is able to read different types of on-chain interactions with a public address. So once you have set a certain amount of inactivity for your wallet, let's say 1 year, after a year of inactivity, your wallet becomes effectively nuked. And all of those assets are able to be sent to a specific address of your choosing. And in the future, we're going to be building it out so you can actually send that directly to a bank account, because we do realize that there are certain people out there that frankly don't understand or obviously care to use crypto or blockchain. So that allows for people to have more security and control over their assets when many people might not be able to access them. Because I know for myself, who holds crypto, I have private keys stored away currently, and I don't know if I can actually trust that my parents will be able to figure out how to get to that. And we want to be able to have these people actually realize that their loved ones are not going to lose those assets if they're lost. Does that sort of make sense?
Absolutely. That's a great answer.
Mark, love the presentation, but I'm wondering what's the income model for your company? How do you guys make money on this? And
Sure. So we originally built this product out to essentially be direct to consumers, where you're able to gain revenue from different types of fiat ramps. So when people are going in and out of fiat to and from crypto, or swapping between different types of assets, as well as the monthly recurring feature through our Vault Pro. But one of the things that we have found a lot over the last few months is how we'll be able to use different types of licensing models, because we've gotten a fair amount of organic inbound sales and interest from organizations actually wanting to license everything that we're building, whether it's certain aspects at the tech stack or just the entire product. So for example, some of the software that we've developed, like the Numio Cloud, is going to be able to be a platform for development, for building out different types of fintech or even medtech products. So the way that we're using that right now is essentially for KYC. And we've been getting a lot of medtech companies reaching out to us saying, we want to build out our products, our mobile app and web app using this type of solution because we're able to store different types of medical history, medical information using this software, allowing for end users to have more control over that data, because then they can control it and transfer it through an API by decrypting it and sending it to third-party doctors or hospitals, different things like that. Does that make sense?
So what's your AUM currently on the platform versus, say, your 1-year MRR from these licensing agreements? Because I agree with sort of Scott that the individual aspects of your company here have more utility for other verticals. And just curious about the AUM versus that case.
Sure. So I actually don't know offhand because our web app is actually not launched just yet. We have a beta out of our mobile app right now. I don't know offhand what the AUM is on that. I can obviously go and find that out. And then right now we are currently getting about $10,000 in revenue each month.
Is there a fee to use the Numio Vault?
No.
Really? Could that be used for like institutional custody?
Yes. So that's actually one of the reasons why we built out our Vault Pro. So that is where the multi-sig comes into play. So for those of you who are watching, don't know what a multi-sig is, it is called it's a term for a multi-signature wallet. So let's say, for example, myself and the rest of the judges wanted to create a wallet that we all had control over. We would all basically generate this vault and have each one of us sign off to be co-signers on this vault. And in order to do so, all of us would basically sign off on it and confirm by doing so. And from there, every single time you need to make a withdrawal or make a transaction, every single person who is accounted for on that wallet or that vault needs to verify a transaction before it actually is able to go through. So that's very useful for different types of family offices, businesses, organizations, and for some of our pilots that we are currently working on, primarily for merchants, where they're able to hold those funds and make sure let's say a rogue employee doesn't try to steal all of that money.
Gotcha.
All right, we do got to move on, but Mark, that was awesome.